Okay, I think we'll get started. There's three of us here. And hopefully Peter will be along in a second. Call the Town of Bristol Selectboard meeting to order. This is a special Select Board meeting, January 6th, 2025 at 6:34 p.m. Obviously a Zoom protocol. Everyone is muted unless they're asked to be unmuted. Public forum, 5 minutes per person for anything that's not on the agenda. Out there? No, guess not.
You're the only public, Jimmy. Do you have anything to say?
Oh, actually, I skipped over review agenda for addition. We do have one addition. This is a authorization for a grant application to the Vermont Urban and Community Forestry Program. This is for tree planting and tree maintenance and removal. That deadline is this Friday. So we want to just approve that later on this evening. And I think we can add it to somewhere.
You got one in the way, yeah.
Oh, thank you. Let's add it. We'll just do it after meeting minutes. So item 5 or 4.1 or something like that.
Sounds good.
Or 3.1. Okay. And let's take a look. I've lost my place. Okay. So regular business. So this is a budget workshop, budget review for Public Works Department, Fire Department, and other sections if we have time. Let's do Public Works Department first and bring up Eric Coda. And Sharon, do you want to join us as well? And what I'll do is I'll share. Let's see.
Just because the fire alarm.
Oh, yes.
They got the camera checking it.
Okay, so interesting. All right, let's see if I can get the right one up here. All right, so I'll share it from my machine, and I think if you're looking at the same file, Sharon, you should be able to see. You don't have to look at any file, but if you'd like to. All right, there we go. There we go. All right, let's that. There we go. Okay.
And is there a total, like what the whole budget is? I didn't see.
No. So because of
Oh, now I made it small.
the chat, well, no, it's because I'm trying to get it on my screen. It's so big. There we go. Is that okay? That's way too small now.
Oh, I can see it, but
You're sitting right there.
Oh, I'm good.
There we go. Okay. So I don't know if you want to give a brief explanation about the new budgeting, or I can. So up to you.
Well, as you know, we've been working on combining files, records together so there's not so many. And we've been working with NEMRIC to come up with what they say is a good best practice process for numbering. There is still some issues with it, but for DPW, there's not a whole lot that changed. Fire department, they lost a few, but I think some of the other departments, it's gonna be more evident of other categories that are no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
So I took what the new numbers are, and the budget numbers are, if anything was combined, that information is in that combined number. And so we're just working through it. We don't have it all in one spreadsheet. I'm doing one department at a time, and then we'll be able to put it in one spreadsheet. But for now, this is the way we started.
okay.
There's no revenue information in this one. This is all just expenses. So,
And do you have like a total expense to know like what the total expense is this year versus last year?
it's listed there. We have 2 years worth of information there. It has the budget. And it has, yeah.
That part was missing on mine. So.
Right.
Okay.
Ian went and
Yeah,
put some
I've updated.
in today. Not all of the information is there, like where the blue highlights, I've got to check. I gotta find that payment that's missing there, and then we gotta look at, they combined all the departments except for DPW for workers' comp and that kind of stuff, so his stuff is still separate, so that's listed there.
Right, so a big part of it was how we used to do it before was that you'd have this massive spreadsheet, which you're familiar with, that over the years has gotten more and more complicated. And because we had so many line items, that's why we had the change done to sort of combine a lot of the things. So Public Works may have lost a few because they're combined. Other departments may have lost a lot that are combined, which makes it more streamlined for the town. But at the same time, that using that previous document, there are so many ones that have now changed, we decided to do away with that. And so this is, NEMRIC has a budgeting system where you could put in figures, but it's not something where you can look at it like a spreadsheet and be able to make adjustments on the fly to sort of see how that changes things. So essentially what we're doing is we're creating new spreadsheets per department for now. We're exporting data like previous budgets and previous actuals from the last couple of years, and then we're building our new budget here. Once we work through on these spreadsheets and make the decisions that we want to make, and we'll be working with a live document, so Sharon can access it, I can, Chris, we'll do it at the meetings. Then when the final budget's done and approved, hopefully at town meeting, it then gets put into NEMRIC as the budget for the next year, starting in July.
Okay.
So it's not like we're putting stuff back into NEMRIC and we're exporting again. We're going to use this one document. So it doesn't have some of the information that the previous document had, but it allows us to know exactly what we're looking at. A lot of the times the actuals for the year that's just gone by or the year that we're in now weren't really accurate because you were sort of taking this figure out. Valerie would be putting figures in if they weren't accurate. This is from this date, December 31st, these are all accurate numbers to what we've spent so far, and these are accurate numbers of what the previous budgets and previous actuals were. So we're working with very good data, which is nice.
So is this document is something, this isn't tied to NEMRIC?
No, NEMRIC, there's nothing that works apart from the software that I researched a couple of years ago, which was really expensive, that would actually tie in. And even then, there's nothing really that ties in directly and syncs with NEMRIC, unfortunately. So we still have to create spreadsheets, but I think we have simpler spreadsheets. So.
Well, the only reason I ask is that means when it's all said and done, you still have to enter all this manually.
Right, and we don't enter it until after it's approved at town meeting,
Right.
in
Yeah.
case there's changes.
Yeah, there's no way where we can
You
say
can't
yes
upload
here.
anything
Yeah.
from here back up into them.
Yeah. And that's always been the case. Sharon's always had to do that for every budget.
I know,
regardless of
it
the
would
system.
seem like,
I know. Be
Maybe
nice.
when they go to web-based,
Yeah.
it'll be different, but for now, it's what we have to work with.
Yeah. So we don't have some of the figures in here for certain things, but we'll be adding them as we go along. One big change was how the salary lines were figured out.
Well, DPW we left as they'll stay intact.
Right. But for
The
the
other ones
others,
won't,
yeah,
but we don't have, well, when we get to the salary one,
yeah,
you'll see there's some work that needs to be done there, but
yeah. Essentially, for everything but DPW, for every department, it was broken out into these areas. And what we've done now is for the other departments, these are all combined. And so we'll see like a single figure for everyone, as opposed to looking at individually and like having, oh, a percentage of this is here, percent. So it's going to be easier that way, but we sort of lose the ability then to look at the exact amount to the dollar of another department and everyone's FICA and Medicare, since they're all combined.
and we should be able to figure that out. We
Right.
just didn't have enough time to find the report that would work.
Yeah,
Because the numbers you see in FICA Medi and those are what the town pays,
Mhm.
yeah,
not what the employee pays, because that comes out of their checks.
Right.
So
Yeah.
what that is showing is what the town liability.
our
is.
liability.
yeah.
Yeah,
And we're still waiting on these figures here as we calculate them for the next budget cycle.
yeah, because once we know what the percentages are of how that's calculated, then we can fill in those numbers.
Yeah. So it looks like for your salary, so here's your overtime and your salary, you're recommending an 8%.
Up to 8.
Up to 8, okay. And
So
then,
that's not figured into that salary line yet, because it's the same as last year's budget. Correct?
Now, we put a new number, 8% overall,
So that 279 is 8% more than
what last year's budget
the
was.
two,
Yeah,
okay,
My
24 is
calculations are off the road,
250
yeah.
57. How come we've got an ex, oh. All right, I see. I was getting confused by that. That's out
shows up,
in the,
yeah, at the
in the
bottom.
2026.
Yeah, it shows up at the bottom only.
So any particular things you want to talk about, Eric, in terms of this coming budget?
You're welcome.
I don't think it's fair to talk about this tonight, just like it's not gonna be fair to talk about the fire department, because they're here and it's snowing out right now, so I just don't think it's appropriate to talk about budgets when you're spending money while we're talking about it.
I actually have a bigger, like, one big question though, before we get into the
Sure.
budget. So how, I don't know how your budgets work, like when you, for your non-road material, for example, like you can see that the spending for the it's a little bit lower, being at the very bottom, but like you can see that the spending for the culverts is off. But then like pavement markings, so culverts are costing more than you're budgeting for, and then like something like sidewalk markings are less, or pavement markings are less.
But
Does it
wasn't-
matter?
Probably, what happened there was the Pine Street project.
Oh, no, that's not what I mean.
No, but that's why that's why
Right.
it's over, because he purchased, and because they're culverts, they go into that line,
Right,
even if
but-
they're paid for with different money.
right. But all I was curious about is like, how strict is the budget as far as if you
So,
have
the
non-road
bottom line,
The
material?
bottom line
Okay,
is
so you
what I
can
go
move
with.
stuff around, so
I
it
can
doesn't.
go, yeah, I can go way
Okay.
over on one line and way under on another line, as long as the bottom figure,
In that
comes out.
category.
no, not in the
Oh,
category, in
the
the
whole-
overall budget.
Okay,
Comes out either at or under,
okay,
then I'm good.
okay,
The reason we do that is because we don't want something coded to a different line. We want a realistic figure, so like if all those Pine Street culverts are there, we know that they're there, but they're paid for with different money.
mhm,
So it just makes it easier for us because we have realistic numbers. And then if he has to do something like that, what he'll do is he'll tell you, I didn't spend this line because I was over on that.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on the budget and I'll not spend some line item because I'm over on another one.
right,
So like, for example, the way Peter's talking, if, say the salt line is at 70,
mhm,
that's what we budgeted for. And we get a really hard winter and I end up going 80
mhm.
on it. That shows you guys that we need to budget more for salt,
Right. But it
know?
doesn't really, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to figure out is, as I was looking over this, I was seeing some areas where we could bring something down and bring something up, but it doesn't really matter, right?
Yeah, it does and it doesn't.
Right.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's the overall percentage increase.
Right.
Um,
So if we go all the way, so we need just to see that number at the bottom, then none of this really matters.
well, it does, because we need to know what that number at the bottom consists of.
Right.
Well, but not really. I mean, if you're just moving money around, if it's all liquid finance and you're moving it around where it needs it, all that matters is he spending it? Because you don't know.
No,
where he's
because if
spending
he,
it, right?
a lot of times, depending
Sorry
on
not
what
to
we're
call you Pete
doing.
and talk
if-
about you while you're sitting there.
No, if we have a project or something, we'll increase a line. Or if we know we're gonna be doing more of something, we'll increase a line. So that we have a realistic idea.
Right,
That's
but you
why I
don't need it
said,
in the line, you just need it in the budget. You just
Yes.
need it in the final amount.
but if you don't go line by line, you don't know.
I know, but that
Right.
some of these are really, really off, and that's what I'm saying, like, do we spend time going line by line to adjust everything so that it's correct? If it doesn't matter, then really all we need to do is we just need to look at the bottom line and say, what did roads ask for, what did they spend, and is something bigger coming that would require more money in the budget?
That's why I said at the last meeting that I was getting nervous about budget, but at the end of the day, we could do just what you're saying and have a budget to present.
Right.
I mean, I like a clean budget, but it's a lot of work to go line by line and make sure that each one of those amounts makes sense. Like what I did was I took the average what was asked for and then what was actually spent for these 2 years to then forecast what that number should be.
Right.
All things being equal, there could be
Mhm.
inflation, there could be, there could be some big storm, but like all things being equal, what would that number be? So we could do that, but that's a lot of work if it doesn't really matter. I guess that's what I'm trying to figure
The-
out.
the
Like,
big
how exact
things-
do you want this to be?
The big things are like fuel and insurance and, the stuff that we need to make sure we have money enough for. If we know that the price of fuel is going up, we typically will put more money in that line if we figure it's a gamble.
Yeah.
If we say it's going up and it doesn't go up, or if we think that it's going up and it doesn't go up, and we put more money there at the end of the year, next year, when you compare those lines, they're gonna be skewed.
Right. Like there are lines for like pagers and stuff like that. You
That
don't
was
really
the
use
hope of-
pagers, do you?
A meeting ahead of time with the department
We
heads
used
to go
to.
through this with them. And that you guys would get the budget in advance, review, and if you had questions, but going line by line was what we were trying to avoid. If need be.
Brad, you missed it, but I told him I didn't think it was appropriate to talk about either of your budgets tonight, because it's snowing and he's here, and you just had a call in this building and you're here, so.
Best thing about our department, though, we got a bunch of good people, I don't need to be there.
So then the only thing that is like real information then is the actual spending for each of the fiscal years, right, Sharon? That's drawn directly from NEMRIC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the budgets are drawn directly from what they were.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But as far as each item, so we
Right.
can then see, so like heating fuel, see it was, budgeted at 2,500, but only 680 was spent. So
Yeah,
like,
But we don't start paying for it until,
Yeah,
Right, and I usually use as going back to the up and down part. I
Right.
use that to offset if we go over on the propane, because
Mhm.
yeah.
the heating fuel is in the green barn, which we burn
Waste
a lot of
Waste,
waste oil.
Mhm.
So I keep that at the same, so if we go over on the propane, then it basically offsets
Right.
and we're still good.
And then it looks like the propane is a little over each time too.
Yeah,
yeah, because we do a pre-buy,
Mhm.
but a lot of times he'll go over just a little.
Mhm.
So, but then we don't use as much at the green barn, so kind of evens out.
But so I guess that's what I'm wondering, if we go to the bottom, is it all evening out or do we need to do anything?
Well, you can see, the actual for 2024
And we're halfway there.
see, that was a year ago. So
Right,
that's a whole year of spending.
and so that we went over
Yeah,
the budget.
this is our budget. And this is what we spent. So this is our budget for the next year, but of course, we're halfway here, so you could potentially multiply this by 2, and you can see that we're over again. So it seems like we do need to be putting more into it. This number isn't accurate because there are things that are missing in here.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
that's
because we
that's
haven't
why.
put in some of the,
Yeah, that's why
numbers.
this is where it is.
Yeah.
It's not a negative 21%.
It would be nice.
As much as we like that.
But do we have an idea? So let's see, if we're over 5%, 7%.
Yeah, because there are numbers in here like
He went
these
over culvert.
that we're missing for certain.
this stuff, oh yeah, because
Well, that was one of the big ones, is the payment. for the water-
Now I gotta
stormwater.
find where that is. Those two things.
Yeah.
Gotta find when they were made and what, if we have a file that shows what our next payments are.
Any comments, Joe?
Yeah, I'm at the bottom there. I'm listening a lot here. And it says we budgeted, so March of 23's town meeting, we voted, the voters did, to give us 890, am I reading that? 894, 857?
Yeah,
And so have we actually to date spent $1,023,000?
no, that's for 24.
But
That,
yes.
it's previous. We're in 25 now.
Okay, all right, so we budgeted 917 and we're up at 527, so yeah, okay.
correct. Yeah,
all right.
I, instead of doing the 24 to 25, I did 25, but maybe that's too confusing. I was
Well,
trying to do it
that's
just,
why I did 24, 25 because it's
Okay.
confusing, because Nemrick does end of year.
yeah,
And then
Not,
back to what Jessica was saying about if some things are over and some things are under. I'd like to not cut, Eric, don't get me wrong, Eric, don't give me a dirty look yet. Is culverts, we're having more storms and we're putting in culverts, more culverts, and we're putting in better and bigger culverts. And I realized what Peter said is we bought the culverts for Pine Street, and I think he's already bought the ones for Munsell Avenue that's why that's $10,605. What I'd like to do is that pavement marking is cut that down to $3,000 because we've only spent $1,238 last year, and put 2,000 into culverts and 2,000 into guardrails. You can't be any safer. And we always right around $5,000 on guardrails. I'd like to see us improve that line, not raise 4,000 more in the budget, but just move 4,000 out of pavement markings and put 2 of it up in the culvert and 2 of it up in guardrail. And really, we could do it anyway, as Speaker said, and as long as we don't go over the bottom line, but that really gives us a true meeting. They're getting serious about more culverts, bigger culverts, and guardrails.
So we need to decide, that paving line went up considerably last year because we were gonna do the striping and the money for Pine Street and the bike lane down North Street
Right.
were in there.
And if we're
I
not
think
going
that
to,
was
we
like-
could take it out of that. That's right, Peter.
yeah,
I mean, if you're talking $2,000, I'm just looking from a money standpoint.
Yeah.
You've got $1 million budget, you're talking.
Chris, it's all about getting the lines correct. I somewhat don't believe in that. Well, as long as we don't go over $1 million, we can spend it where we want. Not really.
No, but if we're talking adding $2,000 to guardrails,
Yeah.
I would start there and see where the rest of your budget shakes out. To move $2,000 out of paving right now doesn't make
Not
a lot.
paving, not out of paving.
no,
Paving
pavement
markings.
pavement marking.
The painting.
Right.
Paving, I want to add more to. I don't think we're doing enough when we get to the
Right.
capital budget.
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with moving line items around. That's okay. It's sort of, we know why we wanted to increase that. We still don't have a plan for that yet. That's still in progress. There's also potentially grant funding that could maybe support that kind of initiative. So if you did reduce that, but again, it's like, whether it's there or in somewhere else, we can move it around. It's nice to know where stuff's being spent, and so you can track it. But then again, that's our actuals. As we go along the year, we can see where things shake out.
Yeah, because the actuals for the pavement marking, that's normally what I buy, the 5 gallons of paint to do all the crosswalks,
Yeah.
stop bars, and all that for what we
Right.
paint.
but was that some of that for the bike TED committee? That's why there was so much in there.
Yeah, so when they wanted me to get the figures for the bike lane, or not the walkway on Pine Street and then the bike lanes on North Street,
It was like $5,500.
it was
or-
almost,
Right.
almost $6,000
Right.
to
Is
do it.
there a reason? Has it been no? There must have been some actual, Sharon, for pavement marking this past year, right, or this year.
Just what he bought for paint.
Have you not done any markings?
Have you
Wouldn't
done-
you have done some?
This is
Oh,
since
fine.
July 1st. I think you did it before July 1st.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's last
So
year,
there's
got it.
something,
so the
yeah,
12 is what we spent on paint last time.
yeah.
So I don't
that'll be
usually buy
spent- It'll be
Yeah,
spent. in the
Yeah, I
summer.
don't
Right,
usually
so
buy
that's-
it until around, well, I can't buy it until it's not not gonna freeze anymore, so April, May,
Yeah, okay.
before they'll ship it up here, so.
So, I mean, is there value to making sure that the voters can see a budget
Yeah.
that we think is accurate line by line, even if we don't budget that way? If not, then it's not worth the work,
Well,
right?
there are people that go through this and compare the lines like you did.
Right,
Yeah,
And
Well,
then
then there's a
they'll
there's-
ask questions
Right.
and we need to be prepared to answer those questions.
because there are 10 items that probably could be adjusted. And I guess if that's not how you spend the money, I don't know if it's worthwhile to do unless you think it matters for
Well,
voters in town meeting.
Yeah, the only thing is, if you do like what you're suggesting and just do the bottom figure, then if people have questions, why did it go up? And you don't have these figures
Yeah,
you're not gonna have an explanation
We
of
should-
what,
Right,
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
should definitely show them this where we see the changes.
yeah.
But like, for line markings, for example, so we budget 7,000 and then spend 1,200. So we budget 7,000 and spend 0. So to budget 7,000 again seems like, well, we don't need that money in that item.
Yeah.
And I understand what you're doing is you're spending it somewhere else, right? So do we bother doing those sorts of updates so that we can present a more accurate budget during town meeting? Like, does that?
Well, it depends, there again, it depends, like you said, what we do with the markings. You know, if they decide they want if we decide we want the markings on Pine Street and the markings on North Street, and we take that money out of there, it's gonna have to be sold from somewhere
Right,
else.
because that money is not still sitting there, right?
Correct.
It's been spent on other things, so it's not there.
It's either that or you wait a whole nother year to budget it back in again.
Okay.
If, say they wanted, you guys agree to do it in
yeah,
May, or not May, but next May, and you take it out, then now that we don't have the money there, then now we gotta budget it back in, so there goes a whole nother year
Mhm.
that you gotta wait
Yeah.
for.
that particular one is unusual because we
Right.
knew, because of that
Mhm.
project, we wanted to add in last year 5,000 or 5,500. So that was
Right.
unusual. Most
Although
of
it's
them
been
don't go
set
up.
at 7,000 for several years now.
Right.
2, 3.
Two.
yeah.
Last 2.
24 was the first year it went up.
Yeah,
Okay,
and then this was last year.
yeah.
So we've continued to sort of not commit to doing that yet because we're still sort of trying to figure it out.
Not only that, but you wanted the water project to go through and the new
Right.
pavement to get
Right.
down before.
Yeah, that one was an unusual one. I say most of the others don't have huge jumps in amounts. They kind of stay the same, where you're looking at the actuals from last year and you're doing about the same unless they drop tremendously or increase by a lot.
Well, so I think we could do one of two things. One is we update the numbers in each of the line items to more accurately reflect the spending that we think we'll see in there. Or we could add a note saying that these line items are just suggestions, the overall budget gets spent for different items.
Well,
Because
that's-
if I'm looking at
Yeah,
this,
you're
like,
opening a can of worms.
We do
but if that's
adjust,
the
we
truth,
do
then-
adjust the line items for what we figure we're gonna spend there.
Yeah,
Mhm,
That's why we adjust it.
right,
And if something comes up and we can't, or if we have to do something else, that's when a line item won't get spent. Like, if he made it through the whole year and we were over and he hadn't bought any culverts, he wouldn't buy culverts just because he had a line to buy culverts if he'd
Yeah.
spent the money elsewhere and didn't need them.
mhm. So it sounds like it does make sense then to try to move things in the different line items so that it more accurately reflects what we think we're going to spend.
How about if you, tell us what line items you're talking about? Or what you think that they're too high or too low, or, cause
The
you
big
just, it's just
discrepancy.
general, it
Yeah,
just feels like we're
so-
going around in circles,
so
cause
if
we
you
don't know
look-
which ones you're talking about.
So if you look at the like uniforms, for example, up at the top. Uniforms number 17.
oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah, number 6.
So so it looks like we spent over on one item and then under on the other. Like, is that because we have
Well-
hired fewer
What is-
people
Well,
or?
remember, this one is only 6 months.
That's only 6 months worth
Right.
of stuff, so you still got another 6 months.
And so you think you'll spend 2,500 more?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, cause they
So-
usually buy boots, pants.
You have to
Okay.
go back and look at the
So these
actual,
aren't uniforms for new people, these
No,
are just
these are ours.
replacing,
Yeah.
okay.
Jackets.
Part of it too is because of Vermont seasons, it obviously changes in terms of when stuff is spent certain times.
Right, but none of these are explained, so
No, I
like, you know,
know.
for voters, when they look at this, they see when I see uniform and I think of somebody working somewhere, you get your job, you get a uniform, right? Like,
Right,
that's
I
what
see.
you're
Okay.
thinking. The other one was for the propane. So that's a pre-buy, so those numbers are locked in because we've pre-bought
Yeah.
regardless.
But if we go over, we still gotta pay for it.
Okay, but if we go under, we don't get money back,
Yes,
right?
we do.
We do,
get a rate.
okay. So that is real money
That's
spent
real
then,
number, yeah.
okay. So each
That's
year
what we
we,
paid up front for him.
so each year we budgeted 5,200, but spent less than that, so.
So that's why I dropped the amount
Yeah,
down this
but-
year.
Right.
Yeah, he's
Well-
dropped that 1,200, so that's a good one. Yeah.
Okay,
The other thing that happens there is if you get to June and the tank is full, then nothing goes in it until later. And it depends on the cycle when the tank gets
When
filled.
it's-
Right.
the last time it gets filled.
Yeah.
But so for people, when I don't know, I'm just trying to think about, like, when you're reading, so I'm reading these budgets for the first time and I'm looking at these categories and it's just really hard to read. I
Yeah.
don't know if I mean, during town meeting, do other people, like, they know how to read these, or are there just lots of questions because people don't know how
No,
to
they
read
have
them?
certain areas that they
They,
target.
yeah, they target, but most of the time, when this particular budget comes up, there's usually a couple questions on the whole thing, and then after that, it's done, down, you know, the
I
three
mean,
of
that's
those.
95% of the budget.
right.
I mean, this.
Yeah, because I don't think people understand it, right?
Well, no, you
And
got
then you feel
Robert
like a
Bernstein
dumbass
and,
like
Yeah.
me, where I'm like, what about your uniforms? Why are you hiring new people?
Yeah, you'll have, at every town
Right.
meeting, like
I don't mind
Bob
looking
Bernstein will go
dumb,
through
but-
line by line, and he'll call out a bunch of stuff, and other people have particular ones that they've noticed, and oftentimes they've looked at the percentage change, and they're like, why has that changed so much? So they'll throw a question our way, but a lot of times it is, I mean, it's,
Right.
the voters are trusting you that you're working on this and you're presenting a budget that's an accurate budget of what the town uses, but
Right.
we can talk about every one of those lines and explain to the voters, like, we're happy
Well,
to
but
do that.
like pagers, wellness, like,
So
Wellness
what-
is a-
the
wellness is a
wellness
new one,
is a new line.
but it's not in health insurance, isn't it
No.
normally?
No, this
No,
is
it's
a,
not covered by health
yeah,
insurance.
this is a separate thing. It's to do with weight management, program. That I was considering on seeing if anybody of the guys wanted over, so Peter and I talked about it, and I came up with, putting in enough for 2 people, if they wanted to do it, see how it works.
Mhm.
Figured if they did it, gets them at a healthier weight, they'd be healthier, less injuries, less, you know, the whole 9 yards down through the road. That was the thought of it, so.
Okay.
Then, of course, you guys have final say at the end anyways, but.
But that, so it's
See, we
not
had gym
considered in our health
memberships, we had
insurance.
No,
gym
they
memberships
don't cover it.
before and they used them for a short while and then nobody uses them anymore, correct?
Classic gym, yeah.
Yeah,
Huh?
Classic gym membership.
Yeah,
National Quick Day is sometime mid-January.
I mean, that's the issue with a line item like that. They have to, you know, if they sign up, they have to do it.
Right, and that's the thing, they gotta sign up, they gotta go to it, they gotta be committed, and if they're not gonna be committed, then they don't need to sign up for
Do
Eric.
either of you or have
And
the
if-
information about that particular
it. Yes,
plan?
yeah, I got a
He
whole,
does.
Okay,
Yeah.
he's
can
got a
you
whole
can you
packet.
send that our way? So
it's in my box, you can
Okay,
take
okay,
it,
perfect,
it's True North something there,
okay.
is what it's called, and it's right in my box.
Ian or Eric or Sharon, can you tell me, line 21, it says landfill fees? Then it says over on the notes, it says salt shed. Can you explain that to
Oh,
me?
that's because of the amount is a lot higher than what we budgeted. And that's because when we had that windstorm go through, and so we demolished the salt shed and took it down to the transfer station.
Oh, okay, it has nothing to do with our new salt shed. I thought it was like.
No, no.
This is to pay
Okay.
to get rid of it.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
old
get
one.
rid of the old one.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah, I got it. She just
All right,
joined.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, a lot of the notes on the right are just that, Joel, they're just reminders, so when people do ask questions, it's to queue up
Right,
why there's an anomaly.
Maybe we could just type there, demolish of old salt or oldest salt shed to the ACFAS. You know. Okay, all right, thank you.
yeah,
Pager discontinued? Are they?
we still have them,
Okay.
nobody uses them, well, one person uses it.
But you never.
Since he's had it, or since Pete took over,
Everybody,
Until now.
everybody carries a cell phone.
everybody carries a cell phone, everybody calls on a cell phone. Nobody has paged anybody in the last 15 years. Okay, so,
Let's take that out then.
well, that's just it. And we talked about doing it last year
Okay.
and it never materialized. So,
Thank you, Colby.
what do you say?
We can take care of
He
that.
said, I'd like to be paged.
Okay. And,
if you're confident and you're comfortable using cell phones and that system works,
Yeah,
and I think if no one's using the pagers, I'd say take that out.
yeah, and then
Unless there's
so,
like an emergency type need
right,
for it. So,
And the telephone, that's like a landline.
yeah, that's the shop phone.
yeah,
And for tree
Mhm.
work, it looks like that's been a little bit lower.
yeah.
Do you think that that should be lowered, or do you think, or do you expect? there should be
Where are
more
we
tree-
now?
More tree work?
Well, we're hoping to get grants for that.
Yeah,
But that's
so,
not taking them down though, right?
yeah, so part of the grant is for removal, but
Yeah.
most of the removal stuff is in the village.
Right.
So that save, as long as I don't have to take anything in the village that I need taken down, then I can save that money for everything out in the town.
Mhm.
Okay,
And it's been a few years since I've gone around and marked a bunch of trees to be taken down around the roadsides in the town. Cause we've had a bunch of projects and stuff here in the village that we were getting done, so use the money there until we got the grant money.
And we're doing canopy trimming.
And we're doing canopy trimming, which is coming out of the, actually that canopy can come out of the grant.
yeah,
In the village?
Yeah.
In the village, but
Yeah,
not.
not in the town. So that was, yes, you're right. So the canopy, I was contemplating on doing like one road a year, just
okay,
having a contractor go down through, taking the sides back, taking the canopy up, take one road a year. And see where it comes in at.
yeah, even though we have grant funds, I mean, we are applying for a new one, this week. What's the thing with the pager, Chris?
Well, so if you reimburse those guys that much a week, that's what your cost was, which is about what you have budgeted. So you could reimburse them on your phone for that dollar amount. And that's,
It would pretty much a wash.
it's pretty much a wash. And that way it would offset their cost for having to use their personal phones. That would be all for them.
Cause you are.
10 of them. 10 of them.
Yeah, I'm good with that, as long as
So,
those guys are.
so what we're talking about is if we eliminate the pagers, the
Yeah.
guys are using their personal cell phones.
Yeah.
We could, if you reimburse them at $10 a month towards their phone for using their personal phones, there's 4 of them over the year's time. It comes out $480, which is roughly the $500 you have there. We could
Okay.
rename that from pager
Yeah,
to communications or
Yeah.
something. We can rename the header, but that way
and people already get that here, right? Others, okay.
other employees
Yeah.
are getting reimbursements.
All right.
So if that works for you all, that would make the most sense to leave it that way.
All right,
And then I'll just have the guys turn in the pagers and,
Get rid of them.
yep.
Yeah.
Put them in the
hopefully we won't have-
museum.
hopefully we
Well,
won't have to pay for too many of them.
yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, be prepared to pay for a few of them anyways. Because Kale's, I know, he didn't bring his back, so that's probably in the woods somewhere, a long time ago, anyways. And then Jared, I don't think Jared gave me his back, so there's his, mine, Mikey's, so you might have to buy 2,
They've already bought.
yeah.
all right. So yeah, telephone doesn't really change. So tree work, let's keep that as is.
Yeah,
If we're
for
gonna
now,
get-
we'll see how
gonna
we
get
do on
grant,
it.
hopefully get grants, for additional work.
Yep.
I mean, village based.
Oh, the only other thing I was gonna talk to you guys while we're doing this is under line 53. Contracted services.
Mhm.
I was gonna see about going up, Joel's gonna love me here. I was gonna go up another 15 grand.
So between this one and 24, what was the jump? What was the big?
Basically, the biggest jump for that is to do with the state requirements for ditching.
No, that's right.
And a lot of not a lot, some of the ditching that needs to be done with a bigger machine, which we can't do, like the notch roll, for example.
Yeah.
I had to have Josh or Masterson's going with their machine. Our machine is just wasn't big enough to be able to do it. So there was
Okay.
30 there.
So that was, yeah, so you went way over that year. It was in the next year, last year,
Yeah,
we budgeted this.
yeah, to
We're
kind of
at
keep
about
up with the
here now.
ditching and because the state requires us to do so many segments of prioritized erosion
Yeah,
ditches, probably whatever, a year. And if we don't meet it, then I don't know what the deal is, but
Okay.
Fine.
it could be. So that's why that's why it's up there.
Okay.
But the extra 15 is our Grizzler is becoming almost non-functional.
What's the Grizzler?
That's what we use to throw our sand over in the winter. So we get the chunks out of it and not,
Okay,
so it works better in the trucks. We don't get bridged up and bugged up and all that stuff.
so would that be a contracted thing then? Is that why?
Yeah, cause I got a price from Randy,
Okay.
from Sergeant's Welding for an estimate on rebuilding a new one.
Oh, okay,
And that one that we have now is, oh shoot, 20 years old.
is that gonna be under contracted services? or is
I
that gonna
wouldn't
be
think
on-
it would be.
No,
Where would you put that?
It's equipment.
yeah,
Right.
Equipment? Okay.
I'd add it in here, right,
But,
equipment and
but,
supplies?
yeah, but the thing is if you put, the one thing we don't do is up and down. You know, we don't add 15 this year and then take 15 out
Right,
next year.
right.
So,
Exactly. But it looks like you could reduce some of these others to just move it around a little bit, like for
Right.
culverts. For the, what was it, was it the non-road? No, not that one. Oh, it was storm drainage. So there are a couple that,
Yeah, the storm drainage, you could possibly trim down some, but that's for what I use for cleaning out the storm drains in the village
mhm,
and sucking the culverts out, flushing them.
mhm,
Your beavers.
The beaver problem we had up on Mountain Street, yeah. And the more that we put in them, the new style catch basins, they have to be done or recommended to be done every 2 years
mhm.
to be cleaned out. So the more that we put in, the more it's gonna be going up, but we could go down.
Right, because you've only been spending like, what, 3,000, 2,000?
Yeah,
So I think we could probably reduce in a couple of areas and then bump up, down in equipment and supplies.
But then are we keeping that? I don't know, I mean, what's your issue with the bumping up and then taking down?
No,
It's
I think
just-
he needs year to year.
yeah,
I'm just talking about line item to
And
line item.
But it's the same thing though, isn't it? If we add in, so we're changing these,
well, the thing is, we should be planning far enough ahead so the numbers don't jump up and down all the time.
Mhm. But you would imagine equipment is the one that should change, right? Like other things, you have long run trends, but equipment, like if it breaks, you.
right, well, we have
Well, we have
the-
capital equipment too.
but I mean, is
No,
is
it's not.
rebuilding that,
Yeah.
that's for a new item of equipment,
More of a repair than it is a
right,
purchase.
yeah. Okay,
You don't really have a repair line. so I
Yeah,
guess
it is a
is
contract
repair.
Contracted repair.
62.
Okay, so you could put it in there, right? Because you wouldn't be doing the work, so it'd be a contracted repair.
so you wanna bump this up? What did you say, what did you think it might, the rebuild of that might
about 15
be? Okay,
is what he told me, estimate.
But see, the problem with going up and down is that you don't. Like if we put 15 in there this year and we take 15 out next year, your whole budget's doing this.
yeah,
And the idea is to
Kind of keep it steady
kind of
all the
keep
way
it
through.
so that you're not having spikes.
When your contracted repairs, the reality is, isn't that gonna perpetually go up?
Yeah,
I mean, if there's not any line that's gonna be,
I mean, you could technically leave the 15 in there for future. Cause everything nowadays everything nowadays that gets repaired is,
Yeah.
it just keeps going up and up.
yeah,
And the more electric and the computer stuff that are on these trucks is more that we can't do.
right,
Unless we budget for, like maybe one of them, I don't know what they are, the big scanners or something that
No,
we can,
because you have to have
have to have software or
Yeah.
whatever to go along with it.
and the software is more expensive than what you're paying in
Okay,
contracted services.
alright, so then,
yeah,
for example, the front end on the Freightliner, that was 10 grand just in the front end. So,
okay.
Yeah, I would put a note there though, Ian,
Yeah.
on that one, and just put like, possible grizzler repair or rebuild. Yeah, cause we had to do some work on it today.
Okay,
One of the grates fell out.
And then, but then we would reduce a couple of the other line items.
well, we could, I mean, obviously
I
that's,
would wait and see until the end of the budget, see what you come up with for a percentage, and then if you gotta tweak, then I tweak.
okay,
Well, because this 137, it doesn't have a lot of other big line items, so it's gonna be a lot more than that, right? It's missing.
Yeah, but that 137 is just for
Yeah, just
equipment
this.
supplies. For the.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, it's just, it's a subtotal of this.
Right,
Of that category.
so it's not the overall whole budget. If you.
Yeah, so
follow.
we're down, so we're here now,
Right,
but we're still missing, this here,
Missing some figures.
which is like a
Mhm. All the
34,000.
debt, exactly.
Yeah,
And then we're missing
Plus the
the
stuff at the
wages,
top.
and
Yeah,
the wages, we're
wages.
missing the insurance and all that.
Right,
yeah, but we'll
those
get
are
there,
like the biggest ones.
yeah. Okay, Joel, any more questions from you? There you go.
You go away.
No, no, he's still on. There you go. Joel, you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
There we go. Any more questions from you regarding Eric's budget?
Well, Eric, I heard you say, well, Joel won't be happy you're adding 14,000. Was that 14?
No,
to
I
the
said you wouldn't be happy.
I know you wouldn't be. Are you adding 14 to the 42 or 14 to the 25? 1400?
15,000 to the
15,000.
12.
Okay, and then, so under
Line
contract,
62.
so that's for the Grizzler, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, and we need it. I think you put half of it in there and half it out of contracted services and take it out, so one doesn't, as Peter said, one don't spike completely up next year. But out of the, last year, we spent under contracted services line 62, we budgeted, what did we budget?
12,000.
12,000. No, I'm looking for the contracted services one.
53, I think.
Oh, sorry.
53.
42,8.
Yeah. How much of that was so-called FEMA or storm related that we may get reimbursed for? Do we know?
No, I
No, 'cause
don't have the
FEMA stuff
figures.
is somewhere else.
Yeah.
We
That's
don't
all.
know we're gonna get reimbursed. We know that was a no, that's not FEMA related or not reimbursable. That's why I was just asking the question. I agree, we're spending a lot more on contracted services, but I wondered if part of that is gonna be reimbursable later.
But the FEMA numbers are not in this number.
I
FEMA is
get,
charged
I get
somewhere
that,
else.
Sharon. I get that, Sharon. But we had to pay the bills out of contracted services. They got coded that number, didn't they?
No, that's
No,
what I'm saying. They were coded out of a different number.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, you-
sorry.
usually, Joel, when I get a FEMA bill, I usually write FEMA on it. And then I hand it down to the office and then they put whatever the
Okay.
FEMA number is,
Yeah.
they put on that bill.
So that actual this year is 42 already we spent.
That's the budget.
That's the
That's the
budget
budget.
amount.
We
But-
The
spent
budget, we spent
18.
44.4
That's what last year.
Yeah, last year.
last year, and none of that was gonna be reimbursable.
No,
No,
correct.
Okay,
That money's gone.
yeah,
that money's gone. Okay,
yeah. Not that it could be reimbursable. It just, it wasn't part of those FEMA reimbursements. And then this year, we've spent 18,050 so far with a budget of 42,800.
and we've doubled we spent twice as much as that we budgeted almost for culverts, and none of that's reimbursable.
No, because the extra on the culvert, Joel, went to Pine Street.
Pine Street, correct. Okay,
Yeah.
all right, all right.
I mean, one idea that we could do would be to create, in terms of, you're talking about FEMA, Joel, would be to create like an emergency fund. And I don't know if we want to do that or not. We could discuss that at another time.
Well, that's why I just
Yeah.
asked, is we went from we budgeted 25 and we spent 44, and we know we had another wet winter, a wet summer like we did before in 23 and 24, did we send you, that's why I asked the question. But you
Yeah,
got
no, I don't,
asked
yeah,
and
I
it-
think Eric had previously explained that the 25 to 44 was doing more state required work for
Right.
stormwater. And so
Yep.
that's where that is. I don't think that's anything to do with FEMA and the emergencies that we've had.
You know, most
Okay.
of that was the
Yeah.
natural.
Yeah, it seems like a big jump, but it's just because of those changes.
Well-
But we could create an emergency reserve fund that we start to build up
Well,
over years to
when you say-
work on things like the FEMA. So we have that money available to us in a fund that we could use. And so it wouldn't have to come out of whatever it's coming out of at the moment.
And it has to be approved.
So Eric, you said that was mostly on the Notch Road. That was by the Berry Farm?
No, that was down.
Going from the High
Notch
Bridge
Road
down?
South, from Kevin Irish is up.
Okay, all right, so yeah, but if it was by the Berry Farm, that might have been reimbursable at a later date.
That all got coded to FEMA.
Okay, that's where I was going with that. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, anything that Eric does that's part of FEMA related things, it all gets coded correctly. Eric's very good about that. And then with the new ones, well, at least the 23 and the 24, you're documenting everything and working with Frida. I know that you and her talk a lot about making sure everything's documented so we can do that.
Yeah.
And that's been working. I mean, we have all that documentation, so.
Yeah, she's got everything from
Yeah.
the last two big storms, so.
Great.
Okay,
Okay. Any other discussions about the Public Works budget? I think I'd like to wrap this up if we can. I think,
Eric, under
Joe.
ditching, budget and actual were twice as much. Was that more of the same Notch Road?
Well, that's, yeah, well, not so much as the Notch Road, well. Some of it is because we buy the material versus the contractor buying it and then marking it up, so we buy it
Right.
directly.
Mhm.
And then a lot of it too is to do with seeding and mulching, you know, because everything now that you open up. By the state requirements, and I know I use this a lot, but by the state requirements, you're supposed to have closed back up within a week.
Right,
So whether
Okay.
it's stoned or whether it's grass seeded and mulch, depending on the grade. You're supposed to have them closed back up. So, and the amount of ditching that we've been doing, it's been a lot, so we try to
Okay.
keep it much closer to the state requirement as we can.
okay. Any other questions, Joel?
no,
Okay, and obviously we'll continue discussing this in the coming weeks as well as it starts to shape up and have us more accurate numbers or updated numbers. Any other questions around this table?
I guess I do have one more at the very bottom. You just scroll to the bottom. The
Sure.
West Street Stormwater Project it's in yellow, but doesn't have a number. Does the number have to go in there or is it done? That can't be done yet.
I don't believe it's done, but I've got to find the paperwork.
Okay,
Tracking that down.
okay,
So yes, the numbers gotta go in there, we think.
okay.
Yeah. So that, yeah, the actual for that and then figuring out what the next payment would be.
Mm.
Okay,
Okay,
okay. Thank you, Eric.
Thanks.
thanks, Eric.
Yeah, yeah.
7:27.
Okay, you got 4 minutes to get to your next
I
meeting.
know.
Right.
All right, thank you very much.
It's all warm for you, Brett. Have a good night, guys.
Thanks.
All right, we'll continue. We'll work on the Bristol Fire Department budget. What, Rose, come on up.
I think I must have earlier drafts because I don't have you did.
You do.
Okay,
It's just it's been updated today, in fact.
so I'm not going to see.
Hello. Any notes if you have? Hi, Brett.
Ian, I'm gonna run to the bathroom and I'll be back. Ian.
Okay, I'm gonna mute you so we don't hear you in the bathroom.
Thanks for not making us leave the building.
That would,
I wouldn't have known anything was going off. We heard a noise. I was like, what is that? And then it stopped. And then I get a text from Bruce. Hey, the alarm company called. You got something going off over there? No, I don't.
was it anything of note?
I think it's a faulty sensor,
Yeah,
so.
okay.
They'll come follow up with the company tomorrow.
Okay,
I called. the alarm company, they've got a service tag in for tomorrow morning.
Okay, excellent.
Oh, they have to have someone they can send out?
Let's see here.
Last time we were making noise, we had to wait.
All right, let me share this if I can. Hold on, I can't see it. Where'd it go? There we go. Is that right? Yes, okay,
Have we condensed that much? Is that the whole thing?
that's the whole thing.
Mhm. Makes it easier to read.
Yeah, so the previous one.
We took the axe to it.
Oh, very nice, very nice.
But insurance is not.
No, the insurance is in the salaries. The
No,
salaries
We
is
got a
is a
new
temporary
bill,
in there.
so the insurance is,
That number there reflects the annual insurance policy we purchase through Gaines out in Virginia. It's an accidental death insurance,
yeah,
just a little.
that's the only number we know
Supplement,
right now.
Okay. So yeah, Sharon, you see, I added this in just as this for our next budget. And I don't know, does this number, it was the number that was over here. Does this number include all the FICA and everything like that?
No,
Well, whatever was come out of the employee's part,
Right, but
but
that,
not what the town
Okay,
part,
so we still need to add that in.
Yeah.
All right, similar to the
to
other.
the other
yeah,
one.
anytime you see labor is purely wages.
Okay, perfect.
It's just the
All right.
employees.
Yeah, so again, this bottom number is not accurate yet, but it's getting there. We're a little bit closer with this just because it's a smaller budget than Public Works.
that doesn't mean you have to make it bigger than public works.
Well, I mean, it's the only line we're missing, right? It's the insurance line. I think it's the only one we have to correct.
And I have,
Well, we
Yeah,
have
because
it,
they don't have, they get FICA Medi, and I need to get a hold of VLCT so they can give me a better breakdown of what goes where for workers' comp
Right,
and
but that's
stuff.
the big one.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, I see. So the insurance is a combined insurance with multiple things. Got it. Okay. But yeah, this is much tighter a budget. I mean, not that you had an enormous budget line item budget anyway. Anything you want to talk to us about?
nope, I'm here to answer your questions. So I have a breakdown of every one of those lines, so if you
Okay.
want to know what those numbers, what's being purchased, I'm happy to answer those.
Okay.
I had some questions about the outside services, because I don't know what those are.
Outside, so you mean annual services?
It says
Yeah.
outside services. right?
That's all,
Oh,
that's
that-
just the
yeah,
title of
sure.
the
Okay,
category.
right. But so under that category, in the computer and software,
Yep.
it looks like you're expecting some sort of big
No.
increase.
We have 3 softwares we use annually.
That's what's listed out there,
Yeah.
Active 911.
Rescue Hub, which is our
And the
training
PS
software,
Tracks.
and the PS Tracks is an inventory tracking software.
And so those are just the price increases
the-
that,
Yeah,
That
we
they
pay an
have.
annual flat rate for those, like the Active 911 as an example, that,
And actually, I think you had it under training before,
Correct.
so it was
But
in
we
a
moved
different
it,
place.
right?
We did put it under there, but I don't think we updated the budget
Okay.
number to include it from that other line, because I had to find it.
That rescue.
so that's like Active 911, that's based on 35 mobile devices at $15.75 per device, for a
Okay.
grand total of $565. So not only does it provide redundancy, because we're dispatched through paging system, our pagers go off, and then the dispatcher also hits another button on your console. And through an app on your phone, not only do you get dispatched, but you're able to push a button, responding to the station, responding to the scene, unavailable.
okay.
And
That's all.
gives you GIS map,
Mhm.
not GIS, just mapping capabilities. It has all our Knox box locations, our
Mhm.
fire hydrant locations. It's just real-time information. When you're responding in a volunteer capacity, knowing who's coming.
So there it is,
Yeah.
and once you check
But
in,
it's-
he
it
can,
sounds-
he
it
can
sounds
check and
good.
see
It was-
who's coming.
It was just, it went from 2.1, 2.1, and then 3.4.
Oh, so we added, the rescue hub is new this year.
Okay,
That's what I was
that's
gonna
what I
say.
was, okay,
Sorry,
okay.
yeah,
okay.
rescue
That's what you were asking.
Right, I was like, maybe we should switch companies, right? That's like a
No,
big
we're
increase.
just, yeah.
Okay, so there's something else in
Yeah.
there. Okay, that's where it's coming
Yeah.
from, okay. And then for annual services,
Sure.
what is that?
Yeah, good question. All right, annual services, so, annual air compressor service, that's our breathing air compressor, you know, the one that. air
Oh,
we
so
put
like
into our lungs, so
servicing
it costs
your
$1,395 to service that on an
Okay.
annual basis, plus another $210 to get them here, because you have to pay for their travel.
Mhm.
SCBA flow testing, $912. So we have 17 air packs, 18 if you count our rapid intervention pack required by OSHA. Those have to be flow tested annually.
Okay,
SCBA hydro testing, well, this year there's a $1,750 increase in our annual services because our hydro, our carbon, oh my God. Our carbon fiber wrapped bottles have to be hydro tested once every 5 years. And of course, we purchased our air packs almost 5 years ago. They are all due in
Okay.
August.
so this is like equipment servicing where everybody's checking for
Other
safety.
services too,
Okay.
yeah. A lot of this stuff is OSHA driven. Fit testing, that's the masks we wear.
Mhm.
Hose and ladder testing, that's a big one. That's $4,000 right there. But that all has to do with our ISO rating, insurance rating here in the town, which affects people's homeowners insurance. Hydraulic pump service testing, fire extinguisher testing, small engine service, municipal water service, washing extractor service, floor machine service, floor mat service, window cleaning and floor refinishing, water filtration system, fire station cleaning service, dispatching, there's a big one, $4,300. So, yeah,
Okay,
lots of services. yeah.
Lots of stuff in there, okay.
and some of those were probably broken out
They were
Mhm.
previously.
more granularly last year. This is, you can see this is last year's line items. And so in the big update, those were put
Right.
together, which makes more sense if you're running the NEMRIC system
Mhm.
as opposed to having line item after line item. But then it's up to us, because of that, to detail out which Brett has, and we can put that in to the town report. So you do know what those things are. Tower lease,
Yep.
hopefully one day we can get rid of that.
Well, it's looking like there's a possibility that the state will do a pilot program in Addison County for the new dispatch, so that might help.
Somewhere in Addison County?
No, Addison County,
What does that mean?
the whole county. They're trying to get it, their dispatch is a big.
Yeah,
That would be
For,
good.
so
for
they're not looking for a location, but they're doing
all-
it for the county.
all
I see.
emergency services, and they've got a big pot of money they're looking to spend, and
Great,
they're. And that may or may not affect that number. So that number
Yeah.
right there, that's specifically to put an antenna on top of that big tower in
Yeah.
Bristol. That's it. Yeah, the one up on Coppins.
yeah. And we're currently looking at options for the town to have their own tower. But that discussion is ongoing. Radios. So as apparatus services, a lot of the annual services, is there a reason why apparatus is broken out? as a
We
separate
wanna
thing?
know what it costs, what it costs the town to maintain their fire service vehicles now,
Okay.
because they're big. Like Eric noted earlier, there's nothing cheap about fixing a fire truck.
Mhm.
You
We
know,
used-
things that used to be done in-house can't be done
Yeah.
anymore,
Okay,
not to mention the
we-
liability that goes with it.
We used to have every single truck listed
Yep, we
separately.
did,
oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we've moved towards
Yeah,
consolidating stuff, and
yeah, I
makes
mean,
the numbers scarier, but
Right.
if you add them all up, it's that scary
Yeah.
anyway.
yeah, I'm all
gonna
for,
pay $7,000 to replace a set of tires on one vehicle. Not this year, but that's just to give you an idea.
yeah.
Mhm.
Is that per tire?
No,
Okay, good.
no, that's all 10 of them.
That actually seems pretty decent, given prices of other tires. You're,
I have a budget format question.
Sure.
All of our departments have capital funds, which we make annual contributions to. Should, for budgeting purposes, should they be shown in the report at the end of this, so that end number reflects the total budget and they don't have to go and add them? Cause like Eric's,
associated with
that department, is that what you
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Cause like Eric's got sidewalks, paving,
yeah,
equipment, you
Yeah,
have
that needs to be
equipment and
reviewed.
apparatus, the rec club has, or the rec department has a couple. And I just, you know, if I look at that budget and I say, oh, his budget's only
Yeah.
$350,000,
Tag
but
another
then,
150 onto that.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
Right.
yeah.
Yep.
I think
And
it would
I-
be good to show them together. It'd be easier for people to read.
I'm curious of
That's what
what,
it costs to run the fire.
Yeah.
department.
Yeah.
Right, right.
We
the
talked about
total
that with
cost,
grants,
yeah.
but then we had discussion with them, grants are another one. The reality is, while we take grant money in, the true cost to run, the teen centers is a
Yeah.
huge recipient of grant monies. What the true cost to run that center, what the true cost to run the fire department, they aren't being reflected, like you're saying, in this page right here.
Right,
So tying them together in one.
yeah. I'm not trying to make it look like your budget's way out of whack. I just think for
yeah,
the, like,
I think
you
it's
know,
a
for the general
idea.
public to
Right,
look
to
at
read
these
these
and
things.
say,
Take some explaining this year, if
Yeah.
you were to do that.
There's gonna be a lot of explaining the way we've changed things up anyways, and I think that now would be the right time to do that. Because you almost would, it subtotal out the bottom gray line is basically your operating expenses. And then your reserve funds would be your second out, and then you'd have a final total after that.
yeah. Yeah,
I
because
mean, the only thing that might be confusing is you vote the reserve funds separate, but they would be here in the budget.
is that an issue? No,
I don't believe so, I mean, I can check.
because I guess,
We don't usually show it there, it shows it on a separate page.
well, right, it's the
Doesn't it?
appropriations. We've got our voted
Because it's a vote,
appropriations
yeah.
for capital and reserve. I like the idea of including in here. I like a cleaner picture of each department. And I guess because fire, I guess, versus public works is different because it's part of the general fund and we're voting on that anyway.
Well, as long as people know that it's not actually part of it's not
Operating.
part of the operating fee.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah, we can make that clear. But yeah, we could put it in and see what that looks like and then,
Yeah, cause he has two lines, one has like, equipment has like 68,000
yeah,
or something like that, and his vehicle has 363, but I haven't done the appropriations because we had an issue with the numbers, so. So his appropriations that were approved this past March are not reflected in those numbers yet, but they will be,
okay,
so we'll put them.
all right,
But we can certainly put them at the end, as long as people understand, this is not money that goes.
yeah,
Well, I mean, what would happen is anytime there's a drawdown against those numbers, so you've got.
Yeah, would show.
Like the last.
Well, I'm
I don't
not
see that.
looking for what's in those accounts here. What I'm looking for is the appropriation for the capital fund. So that you add that, what is it, 150 and,
125 for vehicles,
125
125 for equipment.
yeah, so you add that 150 to that to that 350 and you have your actual cost of your department.
Well, but then to take one step out further, goes back to, again, we just bought a truck a few years ago. That was a big cost
yeah,
that we took out of that fund. So to see that transition in that fund, that it would be, you should see those there as well. Because you have your fund balance.
yeah.
Just if you want to see true
Yeah.
cost of.
No, so you could do that, yeah, you could have it as a,
It's almost the next.
I
section.
don't know that, but that's money that's set aside. It's not money that's
it's in the budget,
in the budget.
yeah,
It's budgeted money, but it's not money, it's budgeted money that's set aside, but it's not money that you're paying for in this year.
Right.
what we could do is it's under your reserve funds report. You
Yeah.
can do like, we have a line for expenditures, it's 92,000, what was that? We don't know, so we could break that down into there, and then the appropriation amount can go into here, because it's added, it's part of that budget, and that gives you that clearer budget, as well as if we do the breakdown, we can see, oh, I know why we spent 300 and whatever it was on your new truck.
Take it one step further, do you add a line in there that the donate, the
Yeah.
donations? I mean,
Right.
The amount of donation money in those capital funds
Right.
is mind boggling.
So how do can we break out the donations to see?
Oh, yeah,
So
cause
like
he
I-
got a state money and stuff like that,
So like we
Okay.
just bought a $15,000 dryer, because that's what it cost.
Right.
That was paid for out of the fire department capital equipment fund, but that was 100% paid for with donations.
Okay,
That's great.
So it doesn't really accurately reflect.
I know, well, so your capital fire equipment fund does have donations, but then our expenditures, again, it's that 92, but it'd be nice to break that down to see, yeah, that'd be nice. Okay, let's work on that.
It would. If that's the actual cost of running the department, the contributions to those capital funds.
Mhm.
And we have yet to have one voted down. Could we include it in the budget? I mean, are we nervous that the budget would get voted down because those capital funds were included in there? It would just be 2 more line items. It would be a line item, well, no, they'd have to be capital, because then they.
We don't spend them every year.
Right.
Like the vehicle. We can put it in the budget, to, like you said, to get that clearer picture, but they're
Right.
still their own unique things.
Yep. Yeah, and
Yeah.
thinking it further through, yeah, that's money that's set aside, it has to go.
And somehow you would want to note that, because if the budget got voted down and you had it as a line item in the budget, then you can't fund your capital funds.
Yeah,
But the capital funds can pass standalone,
Yeah.
just saying, so.
yeah.
Be
But-
careful
but
when
we
you
can-
mix things.
I'm just thinking
No,
out loud.
No, I like listing it, I think having the dollars there, I just
Yeah.
don't know if making it,
No, I don't
Because
think it's a
we
good
can have,
idea.
we can have this line, and then below it, we can do our,
more of a,
Yeah.
like an FYI kind
Yeah.
of.
Right.
as a full department total or
And
something.
then a total at the bottom and
Yeah.
say, and
Yeah.
off to the side, that can say that it's not.
Yeah,
Is when in the summary page, when you talk about what the amount you're gonna ask for the fire department, it would be that,
I bleed terrible.
whatever number, I can't see.
I did this and it just,
3,200.
Yeah.
Or 300,200.
okay. I'm gonna add more info to the capital reserve funds report.
Yeah.
well, you got me a whole paper towel.
I don't have any bandits.
Thank you.
Oh, we do out front.
Oh, you're bleeding.
Yes,
So the budget made your brain bleed.
It's that bad, we've just started.
the stress.
Good job.
I don't know how I hit that. Well, I'm on,
He bleeds, mine turns gray.
well, I'm on
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
high
no,
dose
so
of
we have
blood
to
thinner
watch
so that
you.
I don't clot.
Oh, no. Well, we'll watch you. We'll tell you if you really start bleeding.
Right. Okay, any other questions for Brett regarding his budget?
No, that was useful. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I'll probably connect with you to get those detailed breakouts and then figure out if we want to put it in, this is for the town report, how to put that detail in there.
So what's missing here that,
Just,
Only,
we got two things. The main thing is the insurance. We've got part of the insurance with this one here, but not the full amount. And then we only have the labor line.
Yeah, we don't have the town side of the.
We don't have the town.
committee,
Yeah,
But
because they don't.
your labor line includes the stipends and everything?
Yep,
Yep.
that reflects the increase in the state's minimum wage, which is up to 1401. And the officer stipends, and of course, which you guys approved a couple of years ago to come into compliance with FSLA, or is it FLSA? I can't remember, one of those two acronyms. We're paying firefighters for their required training to keep their certifications and the other facility duties they're responsible for doing, like shoveling snow.
yeah. Okay, Joel, are you still there? Any questions?
Yeah, I got, no, I don't have any questions except, I like Peter's idea, if we put, this budget is 320, and if we put 175,000 aside for trucks and equipment, then to the taxpayers, the budget is, to cost you is, $495,000. That's
Yeah.
what, but to say it's in the report, but it is on your tax bill. Everybody, if you look, your tax bill has school, and then it has general, and it has fire and rec and police, and it's how much percent each tax rate is for each budget. So it is on your tax bill. But I think to have it voted on, I wouldn't want to do that, because if they're capital, they have to be set aside. So, because sometimes in the years past, we've had a great surplus and we've put some in more into capital and not put it on as voted at town meeting. You know, we might have an extra $300,000 and say, well, we're gonna put an extra 50,000 into trucks because one of those trucks need to be replaced in either highway or fire. And then maybe only, instead of putting 150 in the fire, the next town meeting, we'll only put 140. So we've done that.
But that's unassigned funds, that's
unassigned
a
funds.
all totally different. It's not, it's what we put where we feel we need to bolster, and it would show up the following year in the capital fund balance.
Right, but we keep in mind that we bolstered it well, because we had the funds and maybe we don't have to quite reach to the taxpayers the following March for quite so much.
Yeah.
in those
The
capital.
only question I have is I don't think in the budget side, those funds appear as a budget line item. That's over and above the budget,
Correct.
There's.
because it's a standalone
Yeah.
warning item.
Yeah.
But everything else looks good. Everything else to me looks good.
Okay.
I think they would end up showing up the following year in your capital fund balance.
Let me check with Nemrick too on this. I like where you're going with it. Let me just find out how we do it correctly so that we don't inadvertently.
Get something disapproved because they think
Yeah.
it's part of the budget.
Yeah.
And it doesn't come out to the number that we list as part of the budget because reserve fund goes somewhere else.
Sharon, that bond payment, have you called the bank and gotten that, or you just transferred that from the following year and took a little off? Did you call the bank and get that
We
bond?
already made the principal in August and we have one due, which is on the table tonight for February, which is the interest.
Right.
Okay.
Right,
It's in
but
there.
you don't know what the August one is gonna be.
Yeah, it went down $10,000, Joel.
Right,
Well,
or-
that's just the principal.
Yeah.
The
That's the
interest rate
principal.
now is 11,000 something, so it's pretty close to the 121.
Okay.
It's not gonna go down much.
Yeah, it's not gonna go down much because we're still paying a lot of interest.
well, you're paying 1.1, less than 2% on that bond.
Okay. Are you happy with the new system?
So I have two more things I want to say, you just create one of them. So yes, I love that the consolidated lines, because it forces me to have my own notes to break everything out item by item and have a cheat sheet in my mailbox. So when I come in here to code the bills, you know, as we found out this Friday, going through some things during my budget meeting with Sharon and Chris, you know, I mistakenly coded something to one line when it should have been coded to another line.
Yeah.
I like it, it's cleaner, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, these two have been great working with me, you know, and that kind of segue into my next thing, you know, I'm not one to pat myself on the back for this fire department, you know, but I don't like spending tax dollars any more than the next person, but this fire department saves this community hundreds of thousands of dollars a year. And I'm not even talking about, I mean, if you had to pay a couple of people, but just the stuff we are responsible for doing over there is, I mean,
Yeah.
you would have had to pay me $6,000 last year for the painting I did over there. You know, I did it for nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that's just one example. I gave up 3 days last week just to do fire department stuff, budget, payroll, all the other stuff I'm responsible for doing. Took 2 days off from my job. You know, I'm lucky to be able to do that.
Yeah.
But you're just one of 32 members that,
You know.
that gives time.
One of the people over there, he maintains that facility, you know, has to go in there once a month, change filters and air vac units on the ceiling and dump water down drains
Right.
and all the stuff we do just to maintain that facility. Yes, there are services, you know, things we're not licensed or certified to do that we have to have professionals come in, but
We can't certify the elevator?
no.
Not yet.
No, I've tried ours, you can't. Chief, I have a question on, Chief, I do have a question.
Jolie, let me just finish.
Let Brett finish, Joe.
Okay, sorry.
No, that's okay. I just, it's kudos to the fire department, you know,
Yeah.
everybody who makes that place
Yep.
go. And just to remind everybody that, you know, you got a lot of people who are stretched real thin over there because that is not their full-time job.
Right.
They got pressures at home, they got pressures at their job, to find time to get over there to do what they need to do to stay competent and proficient and the skills they need to have to
Right.
run out the door and do the job. And then you add everything else on top of it.
Right.
You know, it's a constant battle and wears people down and we lose people because of that. Good people.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm not upset. I'm just,
Yeah, no, I know.
I think it's important to say,
No, I know.
this is
It
all
is-
due to you,
It is important.
you know?
And there are a lot of people in this town that recognize that have had issues where fire department members have helped them, And so I think a lot of people know that, but then there's obviously a lot of new people coming into town as well who sort of see that. I mean, it's a huge benefit. I think the same with the police department as well. I mean, you having that in a small town.
But we're extremely appreciative of the support we get every year,
Yeah.
It's been going on 9 years we've been in that facility, and every day I'm like, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
It was a
amazing.
long
Yeah.
time coming.
It was,
Yeah.
10 years.
And it
represented
still
10
looks
years.
brand new.
Almost
But
half
that's because
paid
people
off.
take care of it.
Yeah.
We take a lot of pride in our equipment.
Yeah.
That PS Tracks software up there, if you wanna know where every piece of equipment is that fire department owns and what compartment and what truck or what closet it's in, I can tell you. Cause it's all right there.
That's great.
We're essentially a paperless fire department.
Right. Joel, you had a question?
Yeah, Chief, line 16, utilities, electrical and propane. You're up to 85 already. You think you got enough in there for 15, or you should go up at least 16, go up $1,000 on that? It all depends on when you fill that propane tanks. They filled it June 30th or July 2nd this year. But just asking. You're,
I mean,
if you go halfway, you're about gonna be 17,000.
So what did we spend last year?
13.2, and this year you're up at 85.
Right, and of course, I don't know when they filled that
Right.
huge
Right.
tank out back. Was it June 30th or July 1st?
That's what I said. It all depends. So you could take a chance and go with it, or your budget's in real good number. You could add 1,000 to that and not make that negative 3.56 go very far, one way or the other.
I will leave that up to the board's discretion.
That negative 3.56 is not accurate, Joel. There's stuff
right.
missing.
Yeah.
There's money missing. We don't-
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like last year's budget, just like last year, we were shooting in the dark,
Right.
so. Okay,
Well, no, we
all right,
won't be shooting in the dark. We have the numbers. They're just not in
Yeah.
there yet.
all right.
Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I like it.
revisit that,
I like how you guys have done this.
Okay.
Thank
I mean,
you.
hopefully making it easier, but then obviously you're taking your own notes just because of the,
Well, I
We're-
think every department head, we should know
Yeah.
exactly what we're spending our money on,
Yeah.
It's not like any of this is fluff.
right.
It's like, this is what it costs to run this business over there, so.
All
Well,
right.
thank you all for your
Thank
time.
you. That's great.
Thank you.
It's okay, I'm gonna excuse myself.
Yes, go
Enjoy
ahead.
the rest of your evening.
Okay. If you want to look at salaries, that'll be an executive session, so we can save that till after. Any other, Sharon or Chris, to discuss this evening, or any other notes on any of other budget items?
I was playing around with insurance numbers today.
Which ones?
Health insurance, figuring those out. Base increase just on the insurance alone is gonna be about 16%. There's some, and it would have been almost 26 if we had stayed with Blue Cross.
No,
Um,
it's like every year the health insurance
No, I think
increases.
it's gonna go, and then there's questions on, current HSA contribution levels that we do. We've negotiated some of that elsewhere, and reimbursement for those that don't take the insurance. Neither one of those numbers have moved since you instituted them in 2018. They haven't increased a nickel. It's $4,000 for reimbursement.
Hasn't changed since I came in 2017.
Yeah, the last time I saw they were paid out in reporting was in 2018, so.
I know that the payment in lieu of insurance hasn't changed since its inception, because it was $4,000 was, I think, what we offered Pete Bouvier when he came, because he had his own
Thank you, Brett.
insurance. So,
I've got numbers.
Are you thinking about changing that number?
I think you should increase that.
Okay,
Full disclosure, I take that payout, so I just want to be clear that it's not, no, I just want,
I know,
it's not personal.
yeah,
in my mind, it should be 50% of what the single payer's cost of the town would be. that increase brings it up to, I want to say it was around 55 per person. Just trying to keep, it's
Yeah,
unfortunate between
I mean,
that and the
yeah.
HSA contributions.
Well,
Since they haven't been
yeah.
increased at all over the last
Yeah.
8 to 10 years. If we don't, going forward, you should really look at incrementally increasing those every year at the same time you do your wage increases, especially as we're seeing more and more costs. The out-of-pocket cost for your employees for their deductibles, which is what the HSA is supposed to help, has gone up tremendously.
Yeah.
So if we've been every year bumping it up 3%, 5%, the big ick that's gonna happen this year, it wouldn't be quite as bad possibly. So,
When was the 4,000 implemented?
when we hired Pete Bouvier,
Okay,
so,
17 years ago, Speaker?
yeah, I was gonna say closer, yeah.
He was
All
with you
15
5
years.
and he was with us 12.
all right, and we haven't changed it since then, so yeah, definitely time to look at that again.
so,
I'd
I'll
like
have
to,
some
I'd like,
numbers for-
Ian, I'd like to do a survey and put a little note out to employees and say, who would, in lieu of, insurance, give it up if we increased it, and see what their numbers are.
What was
Yeah,
I
it?
don't think a lot of them have the option though.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, that's the issue.
Yeah, because their spouses don't have it or.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm trying to go through my mind, just knowing, so most of our employees' personal situations are, I don't think there's a lot of leeway there.
What was your rough number of a new?
It's under 6.
Okay.
I can have those numbers, guys, I'll email out, I've got a spreadsheet, I just need to clean it up a little bit, I'll send you out. The other piece is for budget purposes for the health insurance next year. The first 6 months, you should base it on this year's rates. And then the second 6 months of the year, you need to base it on
You have to
an
increase it.
increase, and the recommendation was add 10% to that number.
Mhm.
That's been sort of the standard, because they run on a calendar year, we run on a fiscal year, so
Okay.
half of your budget's gonna reflect the current and half of it's.
Being next year's budget. Yeah,
So,
yeah, because we're preparing this budget and we only know what we're paying from July to December.
Right.
Right.
And of course, it will go up, so.
yeah, so the recommendation was 10%.
Okay.
So I will, like I said, I'll pull those numbers together and give you guys, email you out a report. I can probably get it tomorrow to you.
Okay. Alrighty. Let's see.
On the insurance, no, everyone's been enrolled.
Oh, good. That went smoothly.
MVP, actually, I give them credit, I basically talked to them New Year's Eve. And our rep was working on New Year's Day to give me information, so
Great.
I give them credit.
So everything switched over and then,
So far, so good.
Okay.
Right,
Except my number didn't work on Thursday.
I forgot
Your
to
insurance
change it.
number?
He forgot 2 digits.
Oh.
uh-oh.
He forgot 2 digits, so it didn't work. I mean, I still have my appointment, but
Oh, gosh.
now I have to deal with the
Reimbursement,
people and-
right.
give them a copy of my card, which I didn't have.
And tomorrow morning, I'll confirm that everyone is fully enrolled, and then we'll terminate Blue Cross, because we're still covered under Blue Cross, because I didn't dare leave any employee.
Right.
So we could get a refund from that,
Yeah, my understanding
because
is
we already paid that bill for January.
Okay,
I'll reach out tomorrow and start the termination process there.
Okay,
thank you.
excellent. Anything else, Sharon?
I don't have anything.
Okay, we'll move on to regular business item 2, town meeting, town warning, and town report preparations. Jen Wagner is online and she's the moderator for this year. I'll unmute, ask to unmute. Jen, are you there? Do you have any questions for us?
Yo, I'm here. I can't get my videos. Whatever. Hi, guys. Good to see you.
Hello.
I looked through today's agenda materials and didn't see any warnings for any questions. Did I miss them?
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Being worked on. Any questions in terms of what you need? I mean, obviously you need a lot from us, but any other things that are questions that you have that we need to do?
Frankly, no. Just being in touch with you guys reminds me I should be in touch with Cecil about providing snacks for the year.
Yep.
That's a good reminder for me. I just like reading what the warnings are, looking at the language when it's written, just making suggestions on that. I don't have any other agenda than that.
Okay, yeah, I hope to have those to you for the next select board meeting, which will be next week.
All righty.
Okay,
And don't forget that if you're planning on running again, I need your paperwork by January 27th.
Well, you might see me first thing in the morning with one to drop off for folks who come by your office just to, you know, sign, cause it's, yay. Anyways, I got 10 signatures. Need 20 more.
how many does she need? How many does she need?
She needs 30 valid signatures
Wait, so it's 30
Only
for,
30, I thought it was.
for a candidate.
Oh,
For appropriation, it's 165,
oh.
different animals.
I did 40 when I was running, just to
Yeah.
make sure.
oh, okay, so 30, okay, yeah,
But they
okay.
have
Got all
to be
those
valid,
illegal
so-
voters?
That goes for you too.
What?
I haven't seen you
Get
bring
your-
any
get your
paperwork or
30
get any.
signatures.
Oh.
I'm gonna
You
get-
haven't till the 27th.
Oh,
So you-
27th? Thought it was due the 20th. We got till the 27th?
7th, yeah.
Oh, we just got a reprieve.
She's not even gonna come in tomorrow.
You shouldn't have told that to Peaker. He won't start until the 26th.
Good
Let's
He's
hope
news.
gonna
not.
start on the
Put that
19th,
in.
but now he's gonna start at the 26th.
Yeah,
And so there are 2 open seats, not open, but like there are 2 seats
Yes.
that are up for vote.
yeah, it's a 3-year and a 2-year.
Is that me and Michelle?
Yeah, me and
You
you.
too.
I know.
Michelle's up next year.
And me then, or when do I do this? I don't-
It's in
What
You're
do you do,
actually
2 or
25.
3? You don't know? You don't know what you committed to?
I'm hoping it's in the.
You're 3 years.
You're 2, or no, you're 3 years, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think,
Okay,
Yeah,
I know I'm a 2.
yeah, you're up, yeah, you've been 2 for a long time. So that was so the warnings, I'm working on those. Obviously Jen's gonna be hosting the town meeting. The town report, I've been working on that. Let's see here, let me jump to that. We've got a lot of reports in. I can tell you which ones we need. Let's take a look here. So I'm working on all the sort of local information with Sharon, updating various pieces there. We obviously need all the financial reports, which is part of what we're doing now. Valerie's been very kindly working on the town administrator report for the last year. So she's been doing a lot of good work on that. And obviously clerk treasurer report. We need to update our capital equipment funds for the fire department and police and the equipment list, and then public works capital fund plan. So a couple of those, and then water. And then I've got, let's see, I don't have a report yet on the design review commission, but I can't even remember. We may not have even had a meeting last year, or maybe one. I'll have to follow up with Ron on that. I can't even remember. I don't think, maybe we didn't have a meeting. Okay, I'll have to check on that.
You might have the one for cover.
Oh, yes, you're right. I think we did one. But I thought I've got planning commissions, which is good. We've got ARPA, waiting on bicycle conservation and design review. So a lot of those. And then we've got a few of the community services reports I'm waiting on. Talk to someone from Habitat for Humanity today, hopefully get one of those, and then a few more. But most of them are in. And I'm going to start sort of piecing that together. I had 2 suggestions for the town report. We need a dedication, and I thought it might be nice to dedicate it. I wanted to get the board's thoughts on that.
You do realize that that comment will be in the minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
Do we not usually mention the dedication? I guess we don't.
No, we don't.
Oh, damn it. I'm sorry.
That's
Strike it.
executive session.
Oh, yes. I thought we always talked about it in open, but we didn't.
So we can move it to executive session at some point.
Who's watching this? How many of the 3 people are watching this?
Yeah, but it'll be in the minutes because it's part
Oh,
of
that's
the,
true. Can I strike it from the minutes? I guess I can if it's an open
You
meeting.
can strike it.
I can or can't?
You can.
Okay. I'll strike that then.
Because minutes are only motions and seconds and not word for word. Remember that.
Okay, all right.
You didn't get
So
a
the-
second or
The three people that are watching, it's Jen.
And it's on tape for neat, so.
That's true.
On
You
tape.
know, we'll see.
Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
some people will know. Some people will know, most won't. Okay, well, so I'll
I
move
take
that
a pledge
to,
of confidentiality.
okay, I'll move that to executive and I have another suggestion too. Okay.
I think Joel has a suggestion as well.
Oh, yes, okay, great. So we can talk
Right.
about that.
Peter, I gotta go. I've told you mine, so I've gotta go start the bus pretty soon.
Yeah, I
there.
don't remember who it was. I'll have to.
Joel, shoot me a text with it.
Okay,
All right.
I will, Chris,
Text,
thanks.
text me. Don't text him. He won't be in executive session.
That's right. I'll text you, Peter.
Okay,
I'll
all right,
text you
thanks,
and
Joe.
I'll text you and Ian. Okay, I'm gonna listen to you while I go out and get the bus.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, on YouTube, so he's not cramping around. All right. Yeah, so town report's going well. I'll start piecing that together. So I think we're done for that particular area. Let's see, where we got?
And you got my list of,
Yes, I'll look at
Ideas.
that. Yeah,
Okay.
listed idea to engage, more people for the town meeting. All right, let's move on to item 3, review the meeting minutes. Did anyone have a chance to look over the minutes for those 3 dates? And we actually have an additional one for the December 30th meeting that we had.
I looked for the ones you sent, but I didn't do a Michelle.
Good
line
night,
by
Jennifer.
line.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I didn't do a Michelle line by line reading. I don't know if Peter did.
Okay.
I just looked over them.
You know Peter didn't.
I know, but I was trying to be nice and still include you.
Are you willing to approve them, or would you prefer that Michelle take a look and we
I
can move
mean,
them
I
to the next
don't
meeting?
care, but I think she doesn't like it if they're like
Okay,
typos
all
and
right,
stuff.
we
so maybe
can, let's
should wait.
move that to the next meeting.
For me, as long as the information is right, that's all I really care about.
Okay, we had an additional item that I brought up at the top of the meeting, which is, let me get back to that. This is a grant application that is due this Friday. And this is for,
The trees.
yes, the Vermont Urban and Community Forestry Program. And this would be, we've received this grant before, we can apply again.
So is this through Forest and Parks? Because that's where the other tree one came from. Okay.
And no
Yeah.
town match, so.
No town match. I can bring up the document if you can see.
I move that we
Okay.
approve the grant application.
So this would be up to 95,000, and it's 2 different grants from the same place.
95,000.
Mhm.
And this
And no
is,
match.
and it's, here, I'll show you. It's broken into 2 different areas. Hold on one sec.
That's why, let's just do it.
I'll second her
That's good. I
motion.
know,
Okay,
right?
and then
There's
we'll
no
have it. Yeah, and then we'll
downside.
have a discussion. Yeah, it's this one here. Let's see. Save that.
Because we know we're going to have tree damage.
Right.
We know that there, all these tree diseases and.
Well, we still have a bunch, we
Storms.
still have a bunch of ash trees. If you
haven't
drive around
come
that
down,
haven't been dealt with,
exactly.
so.
Right.
So,
But we haven't spent all of the other grant money yet.
no, we have about 20, hang on one sec. Where'd that go?
Trees are surprisingly expensive, though.
Yeah. We have, oh, where's that gone? I think we have about 24,000 left in that. So this would be for, so here it is for the Vermont Urban and Community Forestry Program. Tree planting, maintenance, and removal, 2 separates. So planting is max of 75,000, maintenance removal, 20,000, no match required.
So why do we set a max there? Why do we have to tell them what portion's going to
Well,
to what?
it's 2 different grants,
Oh,
but it's
okay,
from the same place.
okay,
So that's why this is unusual in that, because
Okay.
you have to specify which the 2 different areas are.
okay.
Yeah, that's how we got the other one. The first one was 5,000 and then we got the 50,000 one. They were separate grants.
Yeah, but from the same place.
Yeah.
And then Frida and Josh are gonna be working on that. So we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those against?
He's mooted.
I know he's muted. Sorry. I assume he's on a bus somewhere. All right, motion carries. Item 4, authorize accounts payable warrant and any liquor or tobacco licenses. We have the warrant in front of us.
You still have to sign.
I need to sign that. The warrant was,
That's not the warrant, that's the
I
payroll.
was like, wow, that looks awfully. 22,579.07.
Why can't you make them all like that?
Yeah.
You keep spending.
I'll make it up next week.
Any tobacco or liquor
No.
updates? Okay, thank you.
No, but they will start rolling in here in the next couple months. Because
Okay.
most of them expire the end of April.
Okay. Item 5, select board roundtable. Jessica.
The only thing I've been working on is collecting ideas from people who wanted to make sure that more people were coming to town meeting and were more involved. But you want to talk about that another time, not,
Just so I can take a look and see if we can have it, put it
Okay.
as an agenda item, I think, or
Yeah.
lump it in with the town.
so I collected feedback from a lot of people. Everybody that had been talking about it last year responded. So Cecil
Okay.
from the Masons, Meredith, a whole bunch of people responded and gave me some really good ideas, and they all really agreed with each other's ideas. So we were able to sort of come up with 5 main ideas.
Okay, great.
So
All right.
I've sent it to Ian, so he'll
Okay.
share it with
Yeah, I'll add it
everyone.
I'll send it for next week's agenda.
Yeah, but some good ideas there. So I think it's nice that everybody wants to,
Yeah.
have more participation.
Well, it'd be nice to have more people involved. you know, 'cause
Yeah.
it's-
Meredith said it was, last year, it was about 66 people at the meeting and 20 participating on Zoom. But if you
But the
think of,
Zooms can't vote.
They can't
Yeah.
vote.
Right.
Yeah.
and so, but at least they were listening,
Yeah.
but still, that's a really small percentage given the number of voters we have. So,
Yeah. And that we're voting on the floor for the entire town budget.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay, great. Anything else for around the table?
Nope, I think that's it. Yeah.
Peter?
Good.
Should I see Joel? Joel, are you there? You have anything for a select board roundtable, or are you driving a bus?
He's still muted.
Muted.
No, I asked him. He's probably driving a bus.
Yeah.
All right. 6, town administrators report. That's me. Nothing.
There he is.
There he is. Joel, do you have anything for a select board roundtable?
Huh?
Select board roundtable? Anything?
What's that? No, I've been listening to y'all.
Okay.
I just want to say, you're talking about the trees, the $90,000. But boy, the ones that got planted so far really looks nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They make our village look a lot nicer. But we can't forget the towns either. There's a lot, we could plant in the town too. So, but I really like what we've done so far.
Yeah. And hopefully that'll continue. Okay, great. Thanks.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Bye. Nope. Oh, okay. In terms of town administrator, I guess the only thing I had, obviously we're meeting next week, so I'm gonna be working on the agenda this week for that. We have in the upcoming meeting, we have a January 20th meeting, which is Martin Luther King Day, which is a holiday. Are people okay with meeting on that day? I think we have to, because we're still gonna be working on budgets, but I just wanted to check with people.
I don't have a problem. I mean,
Okay.
the reason we were, is because our employees
Right.
aren't working, and if they have to come in,
Right.
then. So I think they would be the ones
Right.
that,
Do either of you have an issue with that? Or if you wanna, you're not gonna be working, are you okay with zooming in because if
Oh,
it's
I'd
budget?
probably just come here.
Yeah,
You would-
I'm gonna come in.
it's a long commute for you, Chris.
I know.
Okay, but are you okay
I'm
with
fine
that?
with it.
Okay, all right, super, thank you. And we do have executive
That's the
session,
20th, right?
just some updates on things for personnel. Oh, other business, sorry. Item 4, we did not receive any correspondence, as far as I'm aware. So executive session for personnel, and I guess that's, how do I read that? I should know this by now.
Oh, whatever that VSA,
Yeah.
whatever.
VSA section 313A1F, for VSA 1, section 313A3. Probably made in the forum.
So
Good
moved.
night, everyone.
So are you gonna discuss the budget in there or just other stuff?
Good night,
Good
thanks,
night.
Jimmy.
Are we doing wages? Are we ready for that?
We're not really ready for that.
Well, I just thought maybe you were gonna look at the spreadsheet and let them have comments on what they would
Yeah.
like to see.
Okay, so let's do that and I'll
Because it's
invite,
gonna be a little bit different. We're a work in
Yeah.
progress doing this, so.
do you want to both come in or do you just want Sharon to come in?
I'd like to be here for this one.
Okay, sure. So invite Sharon, Lucia and Chris Burley in for
Knock that
first start of executive session.
And we need to-
Yeah, all right. So that was a motion.
Oh, second, sorry.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bye.
Aye. All against? Okay.